Hello, my friends. I am happy you are here today. Find a quiet place, take a slow breath, and imagine something very simple. Imagine a door. Behind that door, there is warmth, there is light, there is food, there is a place to rest. That place is a home. Today, we will travel far back in time. We will travel before cities, before streets, before windows, before keys, before roofs made of metal or glass. We will discover how people first made houses, not all at once, not in one day, but slowly, step by step, stone by stone, branch by branch, dream by dream. A house may look ordinary to us today. We see houses everywhere, small houses, tall houses, city apartments, farm homes, wooden cabins, brick homes. But the story of the house is one of the oldest human stories. It is a story about cold nights, strong winds, wild animals, fire, family, safety, and the human wish to belong somewhere. Long ago, very long ago, people did not live like we live now. They moved from place to place. They followed animals. They looked for fruit, roots, fish, and water. They carried few things with them. Their world was wide and open. The sky was their ceiling. The earth was their floor. And every day they had to ask one important question: where can we sleep tonight? Sometimes the answer was a cave. A cave was strong. A cave had stone walls. A cave could protect people from rain and wind. Many people imagine the first humans living only in caves, but this is not fully true. Caves were useful, yes, but caves were not everywhere. Many groups lived on open land, near rivers, near forests, near the sea, so they had to make their own shelters. At first, these shelters were simple. A few branches leaned together, animal skins placed over wood, grass and leaves used like a soft cover, stones put around the edge to hold everything down. These were not houses like today. They were light homes, temporary homes, homes for a few nights, homes that could be left behind when the group moved again. Imagine a family on a cold evening. The sun is going down. The air is becoming cool. A child sits close to a small fire. An older person brings branches. Another person brings skins. Together, they build a small shelter. It is not beautiful. It is not large, but it is enough. It keeps out the wind. It holds the warmth of the fire. And for that night, it is home. This is where the story of houses begins. Not with kings, not with builders, not with big cities. It begins with need. People needed to stay warm. They needed to stay dry. They needed to protect children. They needed a place to sleep without fear. So the first house was really a promise. A quiet promise that said, "Here we are safer." For thousands of years, people lived like this. They moved with the seasons. In warm seasons, they followed food. In cold seasons, they looked for better shelter. Some groups returned to the same places again and again. They knew where the river was. They knew where animals passed. They knew where good wood could be found. Slowly, some places became special. Then something important happened in human history. People began to understand plants in a new way. They saw that seeds could grow into food. They learned to plant grain. They learned to care for animals. They did not need to move as often as before. This change was very big. It did not happen everywhere at the same time. But where it happened, life began to change. When people began farming, they needed to stay near their fields. A field cannot walk with you. A field needs time. Seeds need time. Animals need care every day. So people began to stay in one place for longer. A temporary shelter was no longer enough. People needed stronger homes, homes that could last through many seasons. Now the house began to change. People used mud, they used wood, they used reeds, they used stone. They mixed earth with straw and made simple bricks. They dried these bricks in the sun. These sun-dried bricks were not perfect, but they were strong enough, and they were made from the land itself. Think about that for a moment. A person took earth from the ground, added water, added straw, shaped it by hand, left it under the sun, then used it to build a wall. The wall came from the earth. The house came from the hands of people. This was not just survival anymore. This was creation. One of the most interesting early towns was in the land we now call Turkey. It is known as Çatalhöyük. People lived there thousands of years ago. Their homes were close together, very close. The walls touched each other. There were no normal streets between many homes. People often entered through the roof. They climbed down by a ladder. Inside, there were rooms for sleeping, cooking, and daily life. Can you imagine visiting that place long ago? You walk on flat roofs under the sun. Smoke rises from small openings. Children sit near their mothers. Someone grinds grain. Someone repairs a tool. Someone paints a wall. The homes are simple, but the town is full of life, full of voices, full of work, full of stories. In those early homes, the fire was very important. Fire gave heat. Fire gave light. Fire cooked food. Fire helped people feel safe in the dark. Many old houses had a central fireplace. A family could sit around it. They could eat. They could talk. They could sleep nearby. The heart of the house was often the fire. But houses were not the same everywhere. This is a very important part of the story. People built with what they had. In forests, they used wood. Near rivers, they used reeds and mud. In cold places, they used stone, skins, and earth for insulation. In hot, dry places, thick mud walls helped keep rooms cooler. Near lakes, some people built houses on wooden posts above wet ground. In the Alps of Europe, archaeologists have found remains of old lake villages. These are sometimes called pile dwellings or stilt houses. People built wooden platforms near lakes, rivers, or wetlands. These homes helped them live close to water. Water gave fish. Water gave travel routes. Water gave life. Once again, the house followed the needs of the people. Far away, in the islands of northern Scotland, there is another amazing place. It is called Skara Brae. It is a very old stone village. The homes there are more than 5,000 years old. They were built from stone because the land had little wood. The houses had stone beds, stone shelves, a central hearth for fire, even stone furniture. Skara Brae teaches us something beautiful. The people who lived there were not just trying to survive. They were organizing life. They had places for sleeping, places for keeping things, places for cooking, places for meeting. Their homes show care. Their homes show thought. Their homes show that people wanted order and comfort even long ago. Now let us pause and think about the word home. A house is walls and a roof, but a home is more than that. A home is memory. A home is smell. A home is the sound of familiar voices. A home is where a child knows where to sit, where a tool has its place, where food is shared, where stories are told at night. As villages grew, houses became part of larger communities. One house stood near another house, then another, then another. People could help each other. They could share work. They could protect each other. They could trade food and tools. A village was like a bigger home, a home made of many families. But living close together also brought new problems. People had to decide where to put waste, where animals should stay, where food should be stored, who owned which space, who could use which land. So the house also helped create rules. A doorway could show private space. A wall could show family space. A village path could show shared space. Over time, houses became stronger and more different. Some had round shapes. Some had square shapes. Some had roofs made of grass. Some had roofs made of wood. Some had walls of clay. Some had walls of stone. Every house told a quiet story about the weather, the land, and the people who built it. In ancient Egypt, many ordinary homes were made from mud brick. The Nile River gave rich mud. The sun dried the bricks. Thick walls helped protect people from heat. Flat roofs gave extra space in the cool evening. People could sleep on the roof when nights were hot. Once again, the house answered the climate. In ancient Rome, some rich people had large houses with open courtyards. These courtyards brought light and air into the home. Many poor people lived in apartment buildings called insulae. These buildings could be crowded and not very safe. So even in ancient cities, homes showed something important. Not everyone lived in the same comfort. Houses also showed wealth and social life. In many parts of the world, people built homes that matched their daily work. Farmers needed space for tools and animals. Fishers needed homes near water. Herders needed homes that could sometimes move. In cold northern places, some homes were built low and tight to hold warmth. In tropical places, some homes were lifted above the ground to let air move under them. This is one of the most interesting facts about houses. There is no single first house that became all houses. There were many beginnings, many clever ideas, many local answers. A house in a desert was not like a house near a snowy forest. A house near a lake was not like a house in a dry field. People looked at their world and asked, "What can protect us here?" Slowly, houses became more comfortable. People made better floors. They made better roofs. They learned to make doors stronger. They learned to make smoke leave the room. They made storage places for grain. They made pens for animals. They made rooms for different kinds of work. A house became a tool for living. And then houses became places of beauty too. People painted walls. They carved wood. They placed special objects inside. They made patterns on floors. They hung cloth. They planted flowers near doors. Why did they do this? Because people do not only need safety, people also need meaning. People want their home to feel like their own. Imagine an early builder looking at a finished wall. Maybe the wall is not perfect. Maybe it is a little uneven. But it stands. It protects the family. It holds the roof. The builder touches the wall with a tired hand. And maybe, quietly, the builder feels proud. This wall was only earth yesterday. Today, it is part of a home. As the centuries passed, towns became cities. Houses became taller. Streets became busier. Builders learned more skills. They learned arches, bricks, tiles, glass, chimneys, pipes. Later, electricity. Later, heating systems. Later, elevators. But deep inside, the purpose stayed the same. A house still needed to protect life. Today, we may live in many kinds of homes. Some people live in small apartments high above the street. Some live in quiet houses with gardens. Some live in busy cities. Some live in villages. Some move often. Some stay in one home for many years. But when we close the door at night, we are part of a very old human story. We are connected to the people who built shelters from branches. We are connected to the farmers who made bricks from mud. We are connected to the families of Skara Brae who sat beside stone hearths. We are connected to lake villagers who built above the water. We are connected to every person who ever looked at the sky and wanted a safe place below it. The origin of houses is not only a history of buildings, it is a history of human hope. People wanted warmth. They wanted safety. They wanted to keep food dry. They wanted children to sleep peacefully. They wanted a place to return to after work. They wanted a small center in a large world. And maybe that is why houses still matter so much. A house is never only wood, stone, brick, or glass. A house is a place where life gathers. It is where morning begins. It is where tired feet stop walking. It is where soup becomes warm. It is where voices become familiar. It is where silence can feel kind. So the next time you see a simple house, look at it for a moment. Look at the roof. Look at the walls. Look at the door. Think of all the time behind it. Thousands and thousands of years of human learning. People tried. People failed. People built again. And little by little, they created one of the most important things in the world. The story of houses began with a simple need, but it became much more. It became culture. It became family. It became community. It became memory. From a branch shelter beside a fire to a modern home with warm light in the window, the idea is still the same. Here is a place for us. Here is a place to rest. Here is home. Thank you for listening, my friends. I hope this story helped you learn English in a calm and happy way. You did a wonderful job today. Every story you hear makes your English stronger. If you enjoyed this story, please like the video. Write a comment and tell me what story you want next. And subscribe for more easy English stories. I am proud of you. Keep learning, keep listening, and I will see you in the next story.